And good Tuesday evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's version of Weather Warriors. Todd Warren here in the NBC6 Forecast Center, streaming to you live on the KTAL Now app, as well, of course, on my Facebook page as well. Coming up tonight, you can see a few thunderstorms off to the west and northwest of the Arklatex. Kind of doubtful those will play a role in the weather in our area. It has been a very stormy night tonight across the upper Midwest with numerous tornadoes here, especially over southern Wisconsin. Those storms moving off across Lake Michigan and eventually will move across Michigan. And that's pretty much it as far as the thunderstorms, at least the more widespread storms. As I mentioned, we have nothing too much to worry about as far as severe weather for tonight. Coming up, what we will be talking about is our next chance for some thunderstorms. Until that happens, we're going to stay warm with very little rain in our area through Friday. There is a chance that if you're watching north of Interstate 30, you'll see some rain tomorrow. Saturday will be our next chance for some thunderstorms. That's when a decent front is going to move through the area and trigger some showers and thunderstorms. Behind this front, we will experience some much cooler temperatures. In fact, we'll actually drop below normal for a few days, if you can imagine that. Something we haven't seen a whole lot of here recently. And then next week, another disturbance is going to take a more southerly course. At least one model is indicating, actually a couple, and that means we will see the threat of more storms across the Arklatex, and severe weather and heavier rain will be on the table for that. And I'll have the details on exactly the model discrepancies and what to expect from that activity next week. Right now, my level of worry is 3 out of 10. For this Saturday, 2. Again, it's looking kind of doubtful that we'll see much. We'll have to watch the southern half of the area. Probably a bigger concern for next week, but keep in mind we're more than a week away from that, so things very well could change. Hence, that 3 is not higher than it could be, and maybe will be. We'll see. So that's what's on the way tonight. If you're watching on Facebook, have a question or a comment, feel free to ask away. If you just want to say hello, Todd, that's great too, as we always like to begin things by saying our hellos. So let's see who is tuning in tonight. Brian, as usual, is first on board tonight. Hello there, Brian. Rusty, good evening to you. Bonnie, hello. Eric in Colbert, Oklahoma says his neighborhood has 72 degrees. I'm a bit warmer than you there, Eric. My Tempest weather station is an even 77 right now. Oh, you had some rain. That's probably why. Well, lucky you, huh? Dylan, hello. Bonnie, is this Monday going to be okay? I think yes, probably so. It's going to be cooler. Actually, it should be a decent day, a bit on the cloudy side, Bonnie, but nothing to worry about as far as any thunderstorms or severe weather. Saturday, the timing is still somewhat up in the air. I think not a total washout, probably most widespread northwest Louisiana, East Texas, during the afternoon. We will not see as much rain further to the north, and you'll see that when I show you the rainfall projections here later on. Chris, hello. I read your comment last night after I stopped, and I saw that you were enjoying the warmer temperatures down here in the south, and enjoy your stay. And yes, it is rather nasty up there in Ohio tonight, especially from Columbus and points north. I've been looking at those thunderstorms here up there in that part of the country. All right, well, let me get going as I wait for more questions or comments to come in. Lewis, good evening to you. Just saw you pop on. High temperatures today. We did make it to 85 for the high in Shreveport, 83 in Texarkana. Notice 77 in both Idabel and DeQueen, a bit cooler in that particular part of the Arklatex. And again, 77 is normal now, so most of the area again today experienced the above normal temperatures. You can see the national view of the weather pattern here. Big upper level trough, which is going to be sliding its way towards the northeast. Big upper level ridge here is going to kind of put a block on this activity. Instead of going like this, it's going to go basically to our north. Again, might see a little bit of rain as a result of that over the northern sections of the Arklatex tomorrow. You'll see that with Futurecast here in a second. And then further to the northwest, there's another pretty good upper level low here This is going to dive and move across the northern sections of the country and push going to be more cooler air associated with that one. So it is going to bring the threat for some thunderstorms as that cold front moves in. Speaking of fronts, let's take a look at the highs lows fronts on top of Futurecast here, and you can see the frontal system moving into the plains right now. That probably is not the one that we will be impacted by. It will skirt through, but probably will wash up before it gets here. It's the second one behind it. Notice there's snow up here in the Rockies. That kind of gives you an idea of exactly how much cooler the air behind this frontal system is going to be. It's not going to be that cold here, obviously, but we will drop below normal. And you can see moving forward that all the action in terms of thunderstorms and any kind of precipitation will stay to the north of the Arklatex Thursday. Notice the snows here across the Rockies and in Colorado and especially Wyoming heading into Thursday night. And then we'll start to see a little bit of a push in that frontal system. Friday is looking to be a very active day across the Midwest. As you'll see the outlook from SPC here in a second, at least an enhanced risk for a little bit more widespread severe weather, very similar to what we've experienced in the upper Midwest today as far as thunderstorms. And so Friday's looking good. And then Saturday, you can see that area of low pressure is going to take a turn towards the southeast, and the associated front is going to begin to produce a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, this front is going to arrive in the northwestern sections of the area during the afternoon and then move southeast. If this analysis is correct, the front will move through Shreveport early evening, shortly after, or pretty close to sunset. And that is probably going to be the time frame that we will see the best shot for the thunderstorms. All right. Don't see any other comments, so I'm going to continue on. So let's zero in on the Arklatex here for the next 4 days with Robin Story to Futurecast. And you can see that tonight, really not much as far as rain in our area. Tomorrow, possibility for that shower near and north of Interstate 30, maybe a rumble of thunder, but no worries with severe weather. Earlier, even yesterday, SPC'd have a marginal for McCurtain and Red River counties. That's been pushed to the northwest, so it's doubtful that we'll see anything as far as severe weather here in our area tomorrow. We'll see the clouds increase tomorrow night, and then Thursday probably we'll see some afternoon sunshine, which will combine with the south to southwesterly wind to warm us up into the mid to upper 80s. So we're going to be very warm here as that next cold front begins to approach. Thursday night, the low clouds once again will develop, and then Friday we will see a mostly cloudy sky in the morning and some sunshine in the afternoon with highs again in the mid to upper 80s. Gary, hello to you. Hopefully you're enjoying the pleasant temperatures outside. It is a bit more humid out there. Let's see. My weather station says the dew point 60, round up to 68, which is very humid for this time of year. That would be pleasurable in July and August, but it is a bit humid for now. As far as Saturday, you can see the cloudy sky. Notice the frontal system, the wind shift is the front at 7 a.m. still up basically along Interstate 44 in Oklahoma. I'm going to slide this back down to the south, and you can see the showers and thunderstorms. Notice how they begin to increase here along that frontal system late Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. And again, right now, models, the worst I could find would be a marginal risk. And SPC does not have any slight risk on us. I think an isolated severe storm with wind issues will be a possibility as this frontal system comes in. The tornado risk is looking very low, and that's as far out as Futurecast goes. Unfortunately, we'll be able to cover all of that frontal passage tomorrow night with Futurecast when it goes out another 24 hours. Gene says, good evening. I'm going to an outdoor wedding in Hot Springs, Arkansas, Saturday. It does look like it, Gene. I'm trying to think what we just saw. You may have already seen your answer. It looks like up there, the chance is probably going to be highest morning, early afternoon. So it may be okay if it's in the evening. The front will be moved, will have moved through, but it will be getting cooler up there. So again, I'm just going on. Well, it's a long loop. I won't be able to show it all again. It would take me too long. All right, so let's take a look at these weather systems and how they will be progressing across the country here in the next week. And you can see the outlook for tomorrow, the slight risk that goes from North Texas all the way up into southern Wisconsin with that upper level disturbance moving through and the associated front. Notice doesn't really include any of our area. That risk shifts to the north and east and only becomes marginal for Thursday. Is Thursday looking pretty dry for our area as well. Notice the second trough back off here to the north and west. That is going to move towards the east, and the associated front will produce some storms. And again, this is what you might call an extended outlook for Friday. Anytime you get past day 3, today being day 1, tomorrow day 2, Thursday day 3, then SPC only issues either slight or enhanced, level 2 or level 3. So there will be a marginal probably in our area for Saturday. So you can see the slight risk, and probably what will happen is we'll see the area of yellow somewhere up here and maybe a long area of green, I suspect, given what models are indicating the state above us of the atmosphere will be. And so no slight risk here. I do anticipate a marginal. Any issues will be isolated as the wind probably going to be the biggest concern, but even that threat is looking relatively low and isolated at this point. So again, Saturday, I'm not too concerned about as far as severe weather. And to be honest with you, we're not going to see a whole lot of rain. That'll push on through. And you can see heading into the beginning of next week, the next upper level low waiting in the wings to begin to move towards the east. All right, so that's what it looks like. And in the week 1, let's go to grain of salt time now. We're going to take you out a little bit later. Jackie, hello to you. Nice to see you live here tonight. Keep those pictures coming, Jackie. I got that one in the queue. I'll be showing the latest one that you've shared here in the coming days, weather permitting. All right, let's move on and show you the longer range weather picture here as we shift to week 2. And you can see this this disturbance, which is going to, you can see it taking a bit more of a southerly course as far as this trough here. And this is the European model and shows by next Thursday, pretty good cluster of thunderstorms, if this is correct. Again, that is a huge if in grain of salt time. And it does appear, the European showing, especially given the negative tilt that you see in this troughiness here. So whenever we see that, it tends to signify perhaps a little bit higher chance for basically the environment is better suited for tornadoes. So the tornado risk will be there if it pans out this way. And we're going to have these lobes that will be rotating around the bottom of this trough here. So we'll have the wave of storms Thursday. The next lobe will come through Friday, and we're going to have a good amount of instability for Friday as well, and perhaps even a tornado risk for next Friday, just based on this one model. Again, emphasize that. And I'm going to show you why I say that here in a second. This is not yet set in stone, but just a heads up, as it is going to be a possibility to mark on the calendar for a day to watch here moving forward. Betty, hello to you. I'm glad you are joining us tonight. So you can see the Friday, and again, that upper level low is going to close off here to the north. If the European is correct, we will see the rain let up and move to the east next weekend. Other models do show a possibility continuing through the weekend, and this will result in a little bit of a cool down that I think you'll see in the European ensembles when we talk 2-week temperatures here in a second. So we'll keep an eye on this weekend. Not too concerned right now. More concerned about late next week. Watch Thursday, Friday of next week. That's the summary. And right now, again, I keep saying that because we're more than a week away, grain of salt time. It does look like all severe weather threats will be possible next week. Speaking of instability, you can see this week, the European ensemble is showing a great deal of instability, uptick in instability, I should say, on Thursday, but we will not have anything to use it, so to speak. And then you can see the instability on Saturday, hence the marginal risk. And notice behind the front, we lose it all, hence the drier and cooler air. And then the moisture begins to return. And you can see Thursday, Friday, some decent numbers here, which would indicate maybe a slight risk. And again, these ensembles tend to average things out, so they very well could be a bit higher. So you can see the numbers from the European ensembles. Let's take a look at the peak on Thursday. And this is going to make a point that this is not yet set in stone. So take a look at the peak here, and you can see the European actually a little bit higher than the ensembles. The GFS and the Canadian, they actually don't see any rain at all late next week, hence the model disagreement and why, just something to keep an eye on. But the other ensembles do show some instability. So, and other longer range models also show the rain late next week. So I would lean towards, again, expecting the possibility at some point late next week that we'll have some thunderstorms. Not saying get ready, just be aware, so to speak, as it is going to be a possibility. Let's see. I hear you. Uh-oh, that's not good, Chris. Barn sale next Thursday. The key word there is starting. Let's hope this doesn't last as far as the storms through next weekend, Chris. So good. We'll try to push it back for you, maybe a few days. I agree, Bonnie. I agree. That's how I feel after they've moved through, if you get my drift. All right, let's move forward here and talk rainfall. First of all, for the next week, and you can see that the Weather Prediction Center, this is made by meteorologists at WPC, showing very little rain over the northern sections of the area. And Gene, this may help to answer your question. Doesn't look like a whole lot. Again, if you look up towards Hot Springs, notice the storms may get going as they move into East Texas and northwest Louisiana. And even here, around a half an inch is what we might expect, which really isn't a whole lot when you're talking a frontal system pushing through. Take you out 10 days, and this will cover most of the storms late next week. And you can see the latest from the Blendum model shows at least an inch for all of the Arklatex, which is good news. But even that 1.5 inches in DeQueen and Nashville is below normal. At this time of year, we should get about 1.6, 1.7 inches of rain in a 10-day period. It will be a little bit heavier over parts of Red River and McCurtain counties. So again, this is better news than we've seen, but still below normal, just to show you how important it is to get the rain in April and May, our two wettest months on average. Chris says, I'll push some buttons for you, Chris. Sometimes, those buttons short out and they don't work, but I'll push them for you. All right. Let's take you out 2 weeks here and show you the various models and ensembles. And again, this will take us 2 weeks from today. And you can see there is some hope of getting more. And again, in a 2-week period, we should get more than 2.5 inches. So we are looking at the possibility of seeing near or above normal rainfall in the next 2 weeks, maybe not so much down towards Natchitoches. So again, this 2 weeks. And another thing, too, is recently, the longer we go, these numbers tend to be overdone somewhat. That's what's been, played out so far. So these very well could be a bit on the high side, but gives us hope, if you know what I mean. Dylan, yes, it's not looking good for summer. I think it was Monday of last week. If you want to go back and watch it, I did look at the... gave kind of a little bit of a summary of what could happen. It does appear as if, and I'll summarize it in a nutshell here, it does look like we're going to transition from La Nina or week 1 to El Nino at some point this summer or fall based on the CPC forecast. I looked at their forecast for the level of that and kind of looked for years that were similar in the amount of that change. And I found 5. All of them were drier than normal, and most of them were hotter than normal, and a couple of them had us hitting top 5 temperatures ever. So I believe it is going to be a hot summer. The big question is the rain. When will it's going to start up eventually. The big question is when. Either July, August, or it may hold off until fall. All right, let's get to temperatures here in the next 2 weeks. And you can see the plummet here. Red line is normal high. Red low is normal low. So a couple of days of below normal temperatures, low 50s, according to the European ensembles. And you can see that next disturbance moves through. And I mentioned you'd see it in the European ensembles, the cool down, as that upper level low in the longer range aspect of things spins to our northeast in the wake of those storms. The GFS isn't showing that, so you're not going to see that dip with that. In fact, let's take a look at the GFS ensembles, and you can see 90s possible Thursday, Friday, probably a bit too hot. Upper 40s Saturday morning or Sunday morning, probably a little bit too cool. And you can see pretty level in the middle 80s here as the GFS not yet picking up on that disturbance late next week. Again, back to the point that that is not yet set in stone. Models are in total agreement on that. Chris, we're talking next Thursday. Yeah, it's going to be, it may hold off. You may get Thursday, and it may, well, I take that back. I'm just going by memory of what I just saw. It does look like it's going to be in the afternoon, so we'll see. All right, let's take a look at my forecast here for tonight. Bonnie, you're quite welcome, and you can see we are looking at a mostly cloudy sky as the clouds. We have had some breaks late today and this evening. They will fill in. 67 for the low tonight in Texarkana, 66 in Atlanta. Notice the normal low is mid-50s still, as we'll see that south wind and the clouds kind of work to keep temperatures up. It will be in the mid-60s in Shreveport. 63 in Manny. That's the closest location to you, Chris. 66 in, again, Shreveport, as well as in Marshall. 63 in Arcadia. 64 degrees in Minden. Tomorrow, my forecast shows a mostly cloudy sky, but we'll see some sun again tomorrow afternoon, similar to today. A breezy south wind tomorrow, probably a bit more gusty than what we've experienced today. South of 10 to 15, normal high 77, 84 in Texarkana, 82 in Mount Pleasant, 85 degrees for the high temperature in Atlanta, and further to the south, mid to upper 80s, 88 in Natchitoches, 86 in Shreveport, 86 degrees for the high temperature in Marshall. And here is my 10-day forecast, and it shows temperatures warming up, upper 80s Friday. Good shot for the thunderstorms Saturday. Couple of pleasant days. Again, right around 50 Sunday and Monday mornings. Low 70s for highs. And then we'll warm back up. And you can see the shots for the rain. That could begin as soon as next Wednesday and continue into next Friday. So, and again, the jury is still out if they will continue into next weekend. We'll see. So, and again, with this rain, not all the models are on board, hence the 40 and not 80, right? So that's what it looks like in the longer range. 8:51, it is getting late, and that is pretty much everything I have for you tonight. But of course, before I go, it's tradition I can't send you off all mad because it's going to rain this weekend, right? So I got to leave you with my attempt, add a little bit of humor. I've been waiting for Big B to come in here, and he's not going to come in tonight, apparently. But he recently told me that he had a friend that told him a funny story, that last night his friend told him that he went to his favorite bar, and there was a Chinese guy that came into his favorite bar, and he asked him if he knew Kung Fu or some sort of martial art. The guy said, "Why do you ask me that? Is it because I'm Chinese?" The guy says, "No, it's because you're drinking my beer." I think my delivery on that one was a little bit off, which is usually the case. But anyway, that will officially do it for me tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in, as always. Again, looks like quiet weather here for the next few days. We'll be watching for those thunderstorms on Saturday. And again, I'll be back tomorrow night with another live update. Of course, the latest on Saturday and latest on the possible storms next week. So until then, have a great Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. And if you're out and about tomorrow, need some sunshine, need some vitamin D, get outside. If you see some, get outside and enjoy it. Good night.